Hey, howdy, y'all. Tiltio here. I've just seen the trailer for Matrix Resurrections, and I just wanted to share my thoughts on it. First and foremost, I love the overlaying of the obvious in this trailer. To anyone that has seen at least the first Matrix movie, this is outstanding. We start with Neil Patrick Harris and his black cat and his blue rims of lamp shading. We have an oracle looking figure reading Alice in Wonderland. There's a young woman with a white rabbit tattoo that Neo has to follow. But the grand prize winner, of course, are the blue pills themselves. All of this is invoking the nostalgia that was first laid down for me in 1999 with the release of The Matrix. This trailer is just pelting me with member berries as opposed to pulling out like the howitzer of you're going to get fan service to death. I'm near instantaneously brought back to thinking about all three movies within the first few seconds of the trailer. Now, ignoring the opinions about the quality of each film, I started putting my mind towards the lay of the land when Matrix Revolutions went to credits. There we had a blind and beaten Neo that had been taken by the Deus Ex Machina. Trinity was skewered by several pieces of rebar. Morpheus and Zion took their first few steps out of the last redoubt to see that Neo had won the war, and the machines had backed away from the destruction of Zion. Then my neurons started firing as we see Neo and Trinity meet for the first time. Is this a different Matrix than the one the rest of humanity is in? Is this an upgraded version of the Matrix from the original trilogy? My guess is that Neo was taken to a storage matrix by the machines to you know, be held in case of another Smith level event. They may or may not have healed his blindness or his scars from his fight with Smith or his trip to the Machine City. Who knows? It seems like some time has passed. You know, uh, this comes after the machines have realized that they still can't control humans completely, but this iteration of the One was able to save them from something that the machines themselves could not stop, the virus form of Agent Smith. So this is, from their point of view, a good idea to keep him around. Because I think the piece that was created by the deal in the third film has has pretty much held, as we're treated to scenes of the battery farms being run by the machines, but we also still have humans that are picking their spots, coming out, and still alive, still around, and probably still using Zion as their main base. I believe that the place with Neil Patrick Harris is the storage matrix for Neo. And again, time has passed. There hasn't been a new Agent Smith event, and the threat of the humans breaching the peace is becoming less and less likely. I mean, we see that Neo has a nicer living space in this movie than Mr. Anderson had in the first movie. This has the effect of making him more comfortable and willing to stay where he is and fight for this lifestyle. The blue pills are still being used as a control device so that he doesn't work actively to rebel against the machines. And the presence of Trinity is yet another layer of padding to help keep Neo from seeing that he's in a simulation and he needs to break out. You know, other characters, they're accessing the Matrix and they're entering like an upgraded version of the one from the previous films. This upgrade seems to be also a concession to the fact that our real world doesn't even have the same infrastructure as the one back in the 90s and early 2000s. Just look around and go find a phone booth anywhere around your location. I'm sure you'll be looking for quite a while. But today, everybody has a cell phone, a tablet, and a laptop to communicate with. So using a phone booth as the mechanism for entry and exit into the Matrix wouldn't make any sense to anybody who hasn't seen these movies, and also anybody who's who did see these movies, oh, like, oh yeah, I wouldn't even know where to find a phone booth right now. So their ability to slide in and out of mirrors, I like it. I like to see how they explain it, but right now I'm okay with it. But one of the coolest things is that it clarifies the machine's constant connectivity with its power source and the control that they now have in this upgraded version of the Matrix. I mean, you just have to look at the elevator scene, and Neo is the only one not looking at a screen of about six or seven people on the elevator. Let's face it, this is about one of the most boomer versus zoomer metaphors you'll see in cinema. I mean, you can almost hear the kids in their phones dialogue. But the presence of new crew members tells me that the humans realized after revolutions that they stood no chance against the machines without Neo. This means that they're going to be actively trying to get him back as a safeguard against the machines. And what's funny is I think this crew is made up of citizens of Zion that have grown up hearing stories from Lawrence Fishburne's Morpheus or M Prime about how the one is the key not only to survival but the eventual overthrow of the machine. And at this point, that story, with the passage of time, has started to move into legend, especially since Neo's not around. He's become this figure that went off and martyred himself so that humanity can live. So now it may be enough time to border into legend, but it's starting to creep into mythos. We're starting to get into like religious figures. And no, I'll stop right there because to be honest, I'm now just trying to justify in my head that the lack of Mr. Fishburne and his replacement by Mr. Abdul Mateen, uh, I'm going to refer to him as M2 from now on. I mean, look, M2, like many actors, when they go to reprise a beloved role, he's adopted the costumes, he's adopted the mannerisms of the character he's playing. But now he's run up against one of the original cast, and he doesn't have any of the behind the scenes information. He doesn't know that the dialogue that he's memorized was ad libbed on the set. It may be an inside joke. Whatever it is, it was not what was originally intended. Neo tells him, even during their sparring match, "You don't know me." And I, if anything, I want to know why they felt the need to switch to this actor instead of calling Lawrence Fishburne. But I'll leave that to Hollywood. But going back to the plot, I think humanity has found out that the machines still have Neo, and they're making a rescue plan that somewhat resembles the retrieval of the Keymaker from Reloaded. Humanity's using the back doors of the system in an attempt to find and retrieve Neo from the machines. Perhaps even going as far as to hack Neo's storage matrix and pull him back into the Matrix. The place that humans have used to gather, to organize, to strategize, and to even fight back against the machines. But since Neo isn't physically plugged in the vast field where humans normally are, and it should be too dangerous for humans to still approach the machine city where Neo should have been since the third movie. I'm thinking that this time around, humanity's going to need Neo to take the red pill in order to have him ping on their sensors to help locate him, or at least activate his internal GPS so he can break out of the machine city if needs be, because otherwise I don't see how the humans can come and get him. I mean, the machines still have the killer sentinels, they still have the massive guns. I don't know what they're going to do. uh, I don't think they're going to be running the Nebuchadnezzar back in there, or whatever ships they have, because they're not going to make it. I wanted to talk about the scene where we see Trinity's face as it starts displaying the green lines of code running down her cheeks. I think Trinity is dead. Not mostly dead, not partially alive, but dead, dead. It's Neo that's clinging to her memory, and it's so powerful that he can't rest in his storage matrix. And even the machines know that this is going to be an unbalance, so they created a construct of Trinity to keep him from rebelling against them. But who knows? Maybe Neo has the power as the one to free programs from the Matrix, and that would give him the chance to give Trinity her own agency and independence, and perhaps give the mental construct for her to be resurrected later on in the film. Because in my mind, it would be a shame if we're treated to some flashback where Trinity is saved off screen by the machines and put back together. No, no. But at this point, I have to acknowledge and applaud the person or people involved in selecting Jefferson Starship's White Rabbit to go along with this trailer. It is an amazing song choice. The lyrics speak so well not only to the scenes in this trailer, but to the plot of the Matrix series as a whole. The pace of the song, as it's building faster and faster, getting louder and louder, it fits this trailer in almost every scene so well, time and again. I just absolutely loved its inclusion. I wanted to make sure I put that in there. Getting to the end of the trailer, like we see who I'm assuming is the new model of the Merovingian, talking with Neo about going back to the Matrix. We also see several scenes of Neo fighting seemingly normal humans and not agents. I think this means we'll see Neo fighting for his new reality, his new lifestyle, as he's got Trinity. He's got somewhat peaceful and good life. There's no reason for him to fight as hard as he might have as he did in the first movie. And every time we're seeing one of these fight scenes against normal humans, it's in places that look very familiar to viewers of the previous movies. And I feel that as with the viewers, Neo's going to be in a familiar place and like, oh wait, I remember how to do this, and he's going to start unlocking all of his powers again as we see him stopping bullets, sweeping aside missiles. Who knows what other powers he's been able to develop in this time, or how strong he truly has become. It would be interesting to see what's going on with all of that. All in all, I'm quite excited to see this movie, and I'm glad that it's only a few months away. I'm gonna get my ticket as soon as possible so I can make sure. But this, I think, no, the trailer shows that it's also on the streaming service. So yeah, I'm gonna have some fun watching that. But let me know if you have suggestions for any other trailers I should take a look at in the future. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.